Well, people have been taking to the streets of Istanbul again to protest the arrest of the city's mayor, Ekrem Imamoglu. Demonstrations had dipped over the past 10 days with celebrations marking the end of Ramadan and universities not being in session. Well, now the Turkish opposition wants to increase its pressure on Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Let's take a listen to what the leader of the country's opposition, Özal, had to say today.
The process is not yet complete right now. We are facing a coup attempt. Coups are not always conducted by soldiers. This time it was carried out by civilians. A coup was carried out against the elected mayor of Istanbul. A coup was carried out against the will of the people of Istanbul. But in essence, Erdogan carried out a coup against his own rival. He carried out a coup against Turkey's next president, against our presidential candidate. Therefore, our resistance and struggle against this will continue until the end.
All right, to pick up this story now, I'm joined by our correspondent, Julia Hahn. Julia, if President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was hoping that this would all go away, we certainly have to disappoint him. This story is not going away. What's your impression? Is the political opposition gaining momentum again?
Well, the opposition CHP, the party of arrested Istanbul Mayor Imamoglu, is certainly facing the challenge of sustaining these large-scale protests, of maintaining the momentum. We've seen a dip last week, and so this is the first bigger protest in nearly 2 weeks organized by the opposition. It's for them, of course, a chance to show political strength, to show that they can still mobilize people. I'd say there are thousands of people here today in Istanbul who've taken to the streets because people's anger has not dipped. It has not subsided. They are still very angry about the arrest of their mayor, but also about the increasingly authoritarian way the government is running this country. President Erdogan, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and his ruling AKP have been in power for more than 22 years. And there are many, many people here in the city who say that needs to change.
And walk us through, Julie, for people who maybe have not followed this story closely, what are the protesters demanding?
Well, many people here tell me they want the release of their city's mayor. He has been detained and jailed last month over corruption charges he denies. People here think this was a politically motivated attempt by the government of President Erdogan to sideline a key challenger, the man widely seen as the politician who could beat President Erdogan at the ballot box. But people say this is about much more than just the fate of their mayor. It's about the direction the country will be taking. People want more democracy. They want more freedom of expression. They don't want to be afraid for voicing their opinions on social media or on the streets or be taken to jail for it. So people here really want to see a different Turkey.
A different Turkey, that many would say with a different president. But if the mayor of Istanbul, Mr. Imamoglu, if he is not able to run against Erdogan in the next election, is there someone who could come in and fill in for him? Is there someone who has that national reach?
Well, the opposition is clearly saying Ekrem Imamoglu is our presidential candidate for elections that are officially scheduled for 2028, but they're now pushing for early elections because they're saying this is the momentum, people want change, so they say they're sure they would win early elections, possibly even this year. They haven't really gone to thinking about a potential alternative to Ekrem Imamoglu, but certainly the protests here, they have impressed President Erdogan. He has lashed back at the opposition, accusing them of manipulating people for their own political gain and trying to distract with these protests from the judicial proceedings of what the government says is an independent judiciary against the mayor of Istanbul. So you see how these views are clashing here. But people here tell me they are determined to continue to take to the streets and demand the mayor's release and democratic change.
DW correspondent Julia Hahn in Istanbul tonight. Julia, as always, thank you.